Well, big up, and welcome to Liverpool 12th Man show. It's a late one. I know it is. It's very late in the European hours, but it is only afternoon here. But I had a little bit of a late start, and it is all good because it's either good morning, good afternoon, or maybe even good evening to some of you. But all the same, I hope it's a good one regardless of whichever it is for you, my Reds. And I want to welcome you to a very special episode of the Liverpool 12th Man show because we are one step away from glory. I'm not going to sing the song. The one step, I think it's one step beyond. It's a good song though. But all the same, this is going to be a big one. Big up, Philly Liverpool FC. Big up, my brother. Definitely good to see you. One step away from Premier League champions. Can you believe it? Not many people had us really being in this place beginning the start of the year. I was someone that actually, I thought that we were going to win more trophies than we actually are going to amount in doing. But all the same, as long as it's this trophy, that's the biggest thing that matters. That is definitely one of the biggest things that matters. So, big up. Oh, psychedelic scientist in the house. Big up. Definitely big up. Good to see you. It's been a little while, brother, but it's a good party to get prepped for. Hopefully we'll be able to share in the celebrations of the 20. But yes, this is your final preview before, again, fingers crossed, Liverpool officially clinched our 20th title. We're just 1 point away, one game away, one moment away from history, and it could be all sealed at Anfield tomorrow against Tottenham Hotspur. It is so incredible that it is basically boiled down to this, to where we will be able to possibly, and I do say possibly, with humble settings, say that we could possibly be able to see the fact, or all be able to see us clinch this title and do it at home in front of the fans. It's going to be special. Should be certainly special. Big up, JK, by the way. Big up. How are you doing?
I'm all good, bro. How you doing? Long time no see.
I know, right? Definitely so. We got JK in the house. We got Lee in the house. Big up, Lee. How you doing?
Good, mate. Good, thanks.
Good.
Looking forward to the confirmation.
Yes. That's what it is. It's the coronation almost, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah. Coronation's a good one. Yeah. The crowning of the champions.
Right, little Coronation Street.
I mean, we have had a good season, despite what any of our detractors say about it being not as good this season, just because a couple of teams have fell off. It's been a good season, and we've been excellent in it. We won so many games, didn't we? It was around that period when we played Madrid. We were at our best, before Canate got injured, and then we sort of got wore out after a while, didn't we? After that, but at that period of the season, when we played Madrid, we were excellent, weren't we? We were beating everyone. We battered Leverkusen, didn't we, as well?
Yeah. Big up to Norm, by the way. Big up Norm. For some reason, I don't know why, it's in my head, but that song, they're a British ska pop group, right? They're called The Madness. Remember that song?
Oh, Madness, yeah. They're just called Madness, yeah, one word, yeah. They're excellent. Madness, they're really good. The ska, yeah.
Yeah, for some reaon, I had that one step beyond.
Yeah.
It's in my head for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah. Exactly. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's the one step is in my head, but for some reason it's just going around.
Lappy Sifley was on the "It Must Be Love" video because it was his song originally. Lappy Sifley wrote "It Must Be Love," but Madness had a huge hit with that.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. So let's get into it. Let's just get into this this preview, I guess. Grab your drinks, either alcohol or non-alcoholic, whichever is your choice, your preference. Get your scars ready, and let's dive into this. The situation is this, and by the way, big up to Jimmy as well. I see Jimmy just chiming in. The situation is this. We are 1 point to glory. So thanks to Arsenal dropping points midweek, Liverpool just need a draw tomorrow to mathematically lift the Premier League trophy against the Spurs, okay, who don't necessarily look like candidates to be spoilers, much less candidates to be someone that you're going to end up getting a draw with. Probably it's going to be, there are two teams set up to score against each other. Obviously, we've scored a lot of goals this year against Tottenham. So, Spurs.
Even Tottenham's current form isn't very good, is it?
No.
The likelihood of them getting anything other than a defeat. There's not, you know what I mean? There isn't much of a likelihood. We'd have to play really, really badly not to win, I think, tomorrow. We'd have to play really bad to lose to them.
Yeah, because we haven't, and I think their minds are on other things right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But they're limping to the finish line, and they're like hoping to get Europa League salvation for this year. I mean, I'm actually, and to our Spurs friends out there, I'm actually hoping that you do win the Europa. I'd like to see you, because I don't want to see Manchester United win it, to be honest with you.
That's it. Yeah. And also, because of their fans, the way they've dissed Ange all season, I would love for him to win that and resign. That would be top class. Because the way they treat him. Look, bro, their league positioning is really poor. I think this might rescue him and Almiron. Imagine, when you look at their positioning in the league table, it's pretty bad. They're near the relegation zone, man. They're more near that than they are
soft
top
spot for Spurs, because Spurs have never been serious rivals for silverware with us. So I've always had a soft spot for them from the 80s, when they were a good FA Cup side, basically, in the 80s. That's what made them good. I mean, they've only got a couple of titles, but I'd like them to win the Europa League, because, as I've said, I remember 1984 when they won the UEFA Cup. We won the treble that year. We won the League Championship, the European Cup against Roma in Rome, and we won the League Cup against Everton in the replay at Main Road. That was the Everton that went on to win 2 of the next 3, English League titles. So it was a really good Everton that we beat in the League Cup final. It was a good Roma in the European Cup final. I think Man United finished second in the league that season, but they were miles behind. There was never a race. They started the season well, I think, that season, 83, 84.
Well, for us, basically this is destiny. We've been destined. We should be at this mark, honestly, already. Let's be honest with ourselves. We've been hard pressed or hard. What is it?
Paul Taney at Goodison Park, not telling the ref to come over and have a look at Rodri's handball. That cost the 20th. And it did. That was the first one that the PGMOL ever come out and said and apologised for, and said, yes, this was an error, a definite error. But that was no good to us.
Well, that's not the only time. I mean, they did it. You got to think about the fact that the loss to this team at Tottenham had an impact on our season as well. The goal that Lucho scored that got taken away from us because they said check complete, thinking that it was onside.
Rodri on a Goodison Park
Yeah.
was so clear, wasn't it? It was like he was playing basketball, wasn't it? He's got his whole arm extended because it bounced.
Or you could go back to that one.
Sort of bounced
Are you
a bit
talking about the
weird
Odegaard
on
one?
Rodri, yeah. And he couldn't much help, but he did it really plainly and in a way that you cannot let off with. And for Paul Tierney to say it wasn't, because the ref didn't see it where the ref, I saw where the ref was and he just couldn't see it properly and he was relying on VAR. And Tierney just said no dice. You know, it's a terrible decision, that. And it cost us start 20th a long time back, 22, wasn't it, that? 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a little bit like whinging, but, you know, it was true, that. There should have been a penalty and Richarlison probably would have scored more than likely.
Well, we have Brian in the green room who's going to be joining us shortly. And I don't know. I guess we can reflect on a lot of the. We should be past. We should be easily on like 22 by now or something. It feels like, but all the same, it doesn't matter. This is number 20. That's what it matters. Yeah. That's the only thing that really matters. Yeah. And it is what it is. I guess you could say. I do have a question for the audience, and I do have a question for you too. How do we approach this game? Because we definitely need to approach it. I put a little poll in here. I asked, like, how should Liverpool approach the game tomorrow? Do we go all out and try to, like, you know, deal with like the settings that we had in that League Cup game, where we just went out and totally ended up smashing them, but then that ended up resulting in them having opportunities to fight back? Do we go into this measured and do a play, you know, controlled and safe and measured type approach? Or do
I'm hoping that they feel like they've got a point to prove, because we haven't really seen a full, like, 90 minutes, absolutely good performance from us in months, have we? We've been served up bits of good games at times by the team, but no full matches, like, since way back a couple of months ago. So I'd like to see them, like, with a point to prove, you know, just to go out and say, yeah, we can still turn up and win a game easily, like we, you know, to win it easily, like we have done a lot of other games this season, you know, and to make it look easy.
Yeah, Norm. Brian's with us right now. He can put it in for you. I'll have to make this, since this is a new name or handle, you know, social media handle. I'll have to go in and make you a mod so you can do it on your own. But we could do it for you for sure. Big up Brian, by the way, or JK, or Lee could do it also. But JK, I don't know. Lee could do it, but I don't think Lee knows how to do it. But all right, but JK could do it, bro. Yeah, JK or Brian could do it for you for sure. What is Brian? Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Come and say hello.
Hope that things are holding down for you. I was going to ask, what do you think our approach should be to this panel, to this like little question I have put together? I see that some of the I'll share with you real quick. These are some of the suggestions. Jimmy's saying we should play controlled and keep it safe. Trudon thinks we'll score early and they'll crumble, so just go all out basically. Liverpool FC is saying we go all out, get a lead early, and then park the bus. Okay. Trudon says controlled and safe versus Spurs. Oh, they're you know, another word for it. And I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like, I don't know if we wanted to get into a back and forth with this team. Basically, I'll put up the poll question though again, and tell me what you're thinking about their approach should be for this game.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Yes, Brad, it was to you.
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
well, if you had your choice of these three, or maybe you have a option 4 that you would think that we go out and do.
Bit of a mad opponent, you know.
Yeah, that's why.
You
That's
don't know
why.
what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a. Yeah, I mean, they're just one of those teams we tend to do fairly well against. You just play it out. Um, just play the game, not the occasion. That's the old cliche. But go, he'll have his game plan. Stick to the way he normally plays it.
Mm-hmm.
Controlled, yeah, controlled game. But go out there. Don't try and I think if you go out there and try and force the issue,
Mm-hmm.
I just think if they let the game come to them, Spurs will give them opportunity. Just take, but yeah, don't go out and try and force it. Basically, knowing that just try and wipe it. I don't know whatever way you can. None of this. Oh, we only need a draw, but it's a game of football. Go out there, play the game. You're better than they are.
Mm-hmm.
They will make mistakes, I
Mm-hmm.
assume. Or look, they'll have a good go as well. They're probably here to try and make a game of it. They don't have a lot. They might rest a few with different things coming up, but that's not for a week yet. Well, not a week, but a while yet. So yeah, kind of just let the game come to them and be ready there and take it because it's Spurs. They'll play attacking football. We'll get opportunities and just
It's
let it happen.
Spurs.
Don't really force
It just sounds funny when people say it like that too. It's Spurs. It's amazing how Spurs has become like an actual like word, a verb in itself. The definition of it is a different definition.
Yeah. No, I just think be relaxed. If they just relax,
Okay.
they'll win. If they can be relaxed, they'll win. If they tense up, if it and like take the energy, that kind of frisson of energy, like they talk about, you take that and use it, but be relaxed about the outcome because even if they don't win tomorrow, they'll win the league.
Right.
But just play their own game. I'm just looking forward. Well, hopefully, be able to see it. But a good match for everyone that goes and everybody that's there afterwards.
Yeah. Well, for Liverpool, we're almost at full strength, which is pretty wild to say. But be honest with you, we're coming up on the end of the season, few games left, and we're almost at full strength. Joe Gomez might be making a return pretty soon, even. I have SofaScore's predicted 11. SofaScore hasn't been doing too well with their predicted 11s, by the way, but I still have their ideas as to what we're going to come out with. I know I have my ideas as to what we're going to come out with, and I think it's going to be a very much the same settings, I guess you could say, in for lack of a better word, in the sense of it's going to probably be pretty much the team we started the season with, minus obviously Kwanzaa. Okay, or maybe it should be a case where that's what we're going to look at, and the team I have for us is going to be excuse me, Ali, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, McAllister, Graf, Salah, Dom, Diaz, and Hatta up front. This might what it is. Because currently only Gomez and Morton are confirmed out. I know that Connor Bradley, that's going to be a big question. And I was going to ask that for you guys. Being the heroics we saw from Trent in the game before this, being that Trent is back to being able to start, does Trent start for you, or does Connor Bradley start for you? I'll ask that to JK, Lee, and then to Brian. Big up Philip, by the way. Big up Philip.
Oh, bless up, Philip. Well, I'd start Trent. It's just a different ball game. Like Trent's top level. We don't know how long he's going to stay with us, so I'm playing him tomorrow. Yeah, no problem with that.
Okay. How about for you, Lee?
I'd play Bradley because we think Trent's going there. I'd give Bradley more time.
Wow. You're going to take, okay. I'll just say, I'll let you go. It's just,
I changed my mind like it will over that. Sometimes I want Trent to play, but Bradley's only just come back himself from injury, so he needs the game. So we can have a look at him as well, see how good he's doing.
Okay, I'll share my comment in a second. Then I'll wait till Brian gives his answer.
You know how good Trent is. We can bring Trent on off the bench, like if we need him tomorrow.
If we need him, okay.
Yeah.
Score a left foot goal, yeah.
Okay. Brian, what's your response to that question?
Bradley for the player. Geez, yeah, do you just sort of say, look, Trent, you're back now, home game, get out there in front of the supporters. You made a good point. You made a good statement last week. But yeah, it's a tough call. I think he might probably have a conversation with Trent. Perhaps. I don't know if he's that way inclined as a manager, but it would be a genuine conversation because there's not much. I mean, if Trent was injured for another week, we wouldn't be fretting over it because we know how good Bradley is. He can slot in at right back. So, yeah, I'm not really sure, man. I think either could start, either do a good job. Both can come off after an hour. But it is a bit of a statement, maybe, by starting Trent in terms of saying he's going to, as a manager, he's been saying all the off the pitch stuff doesn't matter to him. He's just going to focus on putting in the best team. So yeah, I don't know, and I wouldn't really. It'd be a coin toss who to start for me as well, because I think they'd both be perfectly fine.
Yeah,
but Trent, even if Trent doesn't start,
he is one of the senior figures as well, isn't he, Trent? So he might well start. I've just got the feeling scoring that well. It'd probably be the last time we see him score a winner, but that winner against Leicester might have been his last big moment for Liverpool. I feel he's got that now. I can't see him scoring the winner again before the end of the season. Unfortunately, so that might be his biggest moment, before he leaves. But he's still got a huge part to play, hasn't he? Even though there's only 5 games left, is it, with tomorrow included? So there's plenty of playing time for both him and Bradley, isn't there? It was shit to be without both of them and having to put Curtis there. I did not like having to do that.
Well, I just thought it was. Excuse me again. I did. This is the lineup for that Opta score. I think is going to be make this big. This is the lineup that they think is going to be in it. They obviously have pretty much the same lineup that I just mentioned, except for they don't have Diaz starting. They have Cody on the left starting, which is a shout. It's going to be a shout. Cody could get the start. If Cody gets the start, I don't see how Diaz doesn't start, considering that Diaz has been certainly one of the players in form for us lately. And why I was asking that question about Trent, Philly Liverpool FC says Trent should start. Tom says Trent has to start. Let's see. For Red Armchair Supporter, big up, by the way, to you. He's saying that it has to, or it not has to be, but it should be Bradley. Tom's also saying there's a league to be won. And yes, I know we are only 1 point away, but just get it done. Okay. Big up. The streets are ready for a celebration. Yes, they are. Big up. Rasta Crab in the house. Rasta Crab in the house. Big up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, let's get it crunked for sure. Do you think if Red Archiever says, do you think if Trent gets off light with the fans, it might encourage Ibu to run down his contract too? Ooh, that's a really good question. I'm going to circle back for that one. That's a really, really good question. Shout out to Bayesian Pops in the house too, by the way. Shout out to Bayesian Pops, Bayesian Reds crew representing.
Yes, Pops.
I could see this lineup being a possibility. I'm not saying it's a likelihood, but I could see it being a possibility. That Trent question, though, I think is really important to kind of like talk about because, one, could you imagine? I mean, there's no guarantee that he goes the entire game, but could you imagine? We're going to be this game could be cemented in history, and Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't a starter on that team sheet. That would be a footnote in certainly history. I understand Brian's comment also earlier about this coach doesn't play the moment or he plays more of the he's just playing the game as opposed to the moment which is this game. But it would be wild to see that Trent Alexander-Arnold, your vice captain, isn't on the pitch for this extremely, extremely important matchup. Bayesian Pop says start Trent Alexander-Arnold. Okay. I wonder does Trent Alexander-Arnold have the backing of the streets to get the start? That's a good question. I'm gonna see if the streets believe in it. But yeah, it's just something. Is there anyone? I'll show you who they also have. This is what. Before we go into that, excuse me, my apologies. The lineup. Oh wow, the streets are being harsh. By the way, he's saying leave Trent on the bench. He used a different name for Trent, but I'll say it like that. That lineup, either the one that I said or even the one that OptiScore predicted. What's your feelings on our lineup for tomorrow? We'll go in reverse order here. Go Brian this time, and then we'll go Lee, and then JK.
I would start. I think. In terms of what I think you do, I think he will start Diaz. I think he'll start. Yeah, all things considered, he probably will. To be honest, like it should just come down to really fitness as well, Like if Trent isn't 100%, then I know nobody will believe that if he doesn't start that he wasn't 100% because he played some time previous game. But if he is, yeah, start him. Diaz, yeah, the midfield three is pretty. I'd like to see Elliott, but I don't think he will. Not from the start. I think the only change I'd make to their one, I think he'll start Diogo. I think he'll start Diaz. Really kind of, but Simi's come in twice now. It's more just a rest for Robbo. I think Robbo very potentially may have lost his place, so I wouldn't be at all surprised. But I don't know if he's going to go down the sentimental route of. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to go down the sentimental route of saying, "Oh well, look, it's." Like he said it before. I think he said, people saying you're only 1 inch away from the title. He's like, he said, I know, I accept that we're only 1 inch away from it, but I have to concentrate on that 1 inch. So if that 1 inch means starting Simi, it's I don't know, man. I don't know with this coach tomorrow what his plans are. But yeah, either or. Like I'm not Simi's biggest fan. He's okay. I think he's decent. But Robbo, we've dropped for 2 games in a row.
That is surprising too.
That
is surprising.
I don't know.
He dropped twice.
Yeah. Does he stand on sentiment and bring him back in for this game? Because you've got to win the game.
I understand it. I understand your.
I don't think he's our best left back anymore, Crab. No, I don't think he's our best left back anymore. I don't think Tsimikas is better than him, so I suppose that would make him by default our best left back. But man, getting dropped for 2 games in a row isn't rotation. That's not rotation, man. That's not rotation. That's called getting dropped.
Okay. Okay. Lee, how you feeling about the lineups?
I'll be all right.
You can go with your own lineup. You can go with your own lineup if you think, or you could go with, or you could give your impression on what I said.
In respect to the right back position, I prefer him to play Bradley if Trent's leaving, and to favour Bradley until the end of the season from the start, and Trent can come on as sub as many times as we need him. But if we don't need him, we don't bother, because Bradley's got to get used to that position now as much as he can get used to playing at the side of Ibu. And in the left back position, I'd be all right if he went with Tsimikas again, because he's got more energy, hasn't he, than Robbo has got. He hasn't played as much as Robbo. Robbo's played a lot of football over a long period, and he looks half the player he used to be, doesn't he, almost? We definitely, I think that would signal that we'd be buying a new left back if he doesn't play in a game this week, because he's had a week's rest, it's full week's rest now, hasn't he? Robertson. Oh, no more, I think, because he didn't play a week ago. So it's like 2 weeks since he's played, isn't it? 2 whole weeks. So if he doesn't play him again in this game, it might signal, mightn't, that we're going to buy a left back.
I think we're going to buy a left back, to be honest with you. I definitely think we're going to buy a left back. I think that Kirkez. I mean, it's not the left back that I would like us to go for, to be honest with you. I have a different left back in mind that I would like to see us go for, but
Robinson,
it's not that Kirkez isn't a comparable, if not is still a great choice.
Would you prefer Anthony Robinson? Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think Robinson on that left side brings. Imagine, if you had Robinson on that left side, you have someone that's never going to get bullied off the ball. You don't have. He has pace. He has the ability to cross. Maybe not to the levels of what we've seen Robbo at his prime, but certainly he has the ability to cross the ball. But more so, you just have a player that has an engine. You have a player that is, can be physical. Isn't going to be someone that ends up.
Marco Silva would be really unwilling to sell him, though, wouldn't he? He was at Everton, wasn't he, Anthony Robinson? Of all places, at one point, yeah. He spent a bit of time.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I'm sorry. Rasta Crab had a good one. Robinson's going to come with terror. He just might. Who knows? JK, what's your ideas on this lineup? I know some have some different. It's a different thing. I'll bring in this quote by Tom, which was a really interesting quote. He said, "See, this is perfect. As fans, we have a Scooby Doo. What team slot will start? Imagine how Ange must feel." I think Ange is focused less on this game and more on the on Europa. To be honest with you.
I think it'd be like sorted. I was at Anfield when Liverpool won the league. He was Liverpool, didn't he, when he was a kid? He's been a Liverpool fan.
Yeah. Think about it. He could be connected to helping Liverpool get their 20th. As a fan,
play Daniel Levy in goal.
That's got to be going around his head a little bit.
Yeah, and you'd be like, I'll be in goal. Daniel Levy's up front.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But Brad, the team, I'm not going to start Sabotale. That's 100%. And I think even Jota, I wouldn't be really I know Slot's going to pick them two guys though. I know Slot's going to pick Sabotale and Jota tomorrow. The only change might come if he thinks Gakpo left, he has in the middle. But other than that, I think Norman was on about Darwin, saying something about playing some games and then he didn't play again. He did a tweet or something. But for me, he's just stating facts, isn't he? But for me, there's a time and place for it. But for me, Darwin, I don't think he'll play again. Right, you ain't going to start again for us.
Oh, wow, okay. All right.
So, but for me, Szoboszlai, he's the main guy. I love to play Harvey Elliott in there. We're at Anfield, we're at home, we're against a Tottenham team without Son. Son's not playing. He hasn't been great this season anyway, but he's not there. And then they got to get that game next Thursday. So for me, it's perfect timing to play these guys. Same as Arsenal and Chelsea as well.
So up front, they've still got Richarlison, Kulusevski. They've got Werner. Brandon Johnson plays going forward, doesn't he? Scored a few goals. They've
got some players. They've got some okay players, Tottenham.
What's his name? Matthias Tell.
Yeah. He was really good at Bayern, he was. But when a big team like Bayern or Man City let a good player go, he isn't that good, my opinion sometimes.
Yeah. I think that again, to Tom, I think that Ange does have his mind set. He's got Bodo Glimt on his mind more so than this game, and being able to obviously cement himself into not only, I think the writing's on the wall for him with his tenure at Spurs, but he could cement himself into the lure of Spurs history by getting a trophy, something that they haven't seen in quite some time. I think 2005 or 2000. I think it's the last time they won a trophy, right?
Spurs.
Yeah.
It's 99. But no, hang on. Was it 99 under Van de Ramos? Yeah.
No, it was a lot later.
No, 2005. Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, it was like 2007.
Either 2006 or 2008.
Yeah. The League Cup won it, and then he went back to Real Madrid and was there when we played them and battered them.
Have you noticed how teams like Arsenal and Tottenham, their fan bases are the loudest on the internet, but they're the least successful team? Chelsea and Man City and United are all more successful than them too, but they're the loudest. Their fan bases, Tottenham fan base is wild. It's like they think they've got the right to win everything. Like they're talking like they're big time. I thought Arsenal were bad, but Tottenham on par as well, bro. Their fans are like, they think there's something superior. Like, bro, you haven't won a corner kick.
Yeah, they definitely.
You've only won a penalty in the last 20 years, bro. Nothing else. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what are Tottenham? Like, what is this team?
He's only won 2 league titles, and I thought they'd won more than 2, but it's only 2, mate. I thought they'd won more than that. 50-51, 60-61, Not many, too.
Yeah, but so imagine Tottenham win that final in the Europa League. Can you imagine the noise they're going to make?
Happy for them. Do you want Man United to win it? The only way this title victory this season could have been sweeter is if Man United were tomorrow's opponents and we got to make it 20 with Fergie in the stands, literally sitting there watching it. Maybe we could do that next season, make it 21 and have him in the stands, win it against United, eh?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll bring up the Spurs match lineup that they think is going to be. Wait a minute. Okay. I just saw an update. Sorry about that, or not breaking news, but something about something Darwin posted or something. So I think that looks like a hacked account or something, because that's most likely not what he wrote. Wow. No wonder I didn't play more, because this is the translation. It says con raison no juju mas pourquoi el último Partido que I'm just going to say it in English. No wonder I didn't play more because the last game I started in the Premier League went well and suddenly ... I don't know what that is supposed to mean. Let's move on. He deleted that post apparently.
Yeah, he's already deleted. This is, yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. I think he's kind of salty. But this is going to be this is going to be possibly the lineup for Spurs. And I know that is not helpful at all, Darwin. Darwin just needs to just chill out. They've got Tell, Solanke, Johnson in the front. They've got Madison, Betancourt, Sarr in the middle, Udogie, who I haven't seen Udogie back really. I haven't really watched that much Spurs lately, but I know he had a pretty bad injury. Interesting to see him back on that side, left side. Van de Ven is back. Romero is going to start too, and Pedro Porro and Vicario. So if they start this line, that's a pretty strong lineup, to be honest with you. You think they're going to go with that? Think that's going to be their lineup?
I never realised that a lot of their fan base don't like Romero. I mean, I do like him, but only when Romero stays calm and he's not like his worst Romero, getting involved in like spats with forwards. But a lot of their fans don't like him, and they didn't even say it was because of that. I spent a bit of time like on something, and there was a lot of Spurs. In fact, it was about Spurs, and they don't like Sarr or Basuma either. They said they're both crap. So is Maddison any good? And one of them was like, he's all right, Maddison, but they didn't rate a lot of their midfield. They didn't mention Betancourt, but they don't like. As I said, I quite like Romero. I think he is talented, but he is a bit of a hothead, isn't he? His form does like blow hot and cold, doesn't it, Romero? He can be excellent or he can be crap.
Oh yeah. That's right. By the way, that is right about that. I'm sorry. To your point, Lee. No, your point is well taken. I'm sorry about that. I was looking in the chat and saw something that Ross the Crab put in, and I did hear about that too. And I think Brian must have mentioned it in the chat as well about the fact that if Nunez starts another game, we have to shell out 5 million more pounds to, or 5 million euros possibly to his former club. So I don't think
it'll never start again, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but Slot said that was. Slot said in his interview, he said, "Look, Richard Hughes would never ring me up and say you can't start a player
because of that,
because of a clause in his contract." He said that's not how shit works around here.
Yeah.
They don't say, "Oh, keep him." We're not like that.
Like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. If he needs a player to play, that player is going to play. He's not going to get a call from Richard Hughes saying, "Oh no, I'm playing because it's not a 5 minute." Like that. It's just that.
John W. said, "Wait a minute, 5 million." Yeah. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, I just think like it's basically, I don't know, Ross. I don't know what you want to hear, man. I'm just saying this shit is all bullshit. Like basically, if you're the one who deletes a tweet, then you're the one that's talking shit. Basically, you fucked up because you've deleted the tweet, no one else. So yeah, just leave it on the eve of a big game like this when we're all going to be celebrating. We don't need this. We don't need this bullshit.
Do you reckon?
And you're accusing me of overthinking stuff, crap. Come on, man.
Do you
I
reckon
think this is all these
Ender's
people
gonna
you were listening
stay?
to on your. I think all these people you were listening to on your show last night, crap. I think some of them were talking so much horseshit. It's clouded your brain.
Hey, Brian, do you think Endo's going to stay now? I think you do think that, don't you know, that we will be keeping him, so it's less upheaval and less movement. But do you think he'll get more action next season potentially if he stays? Then
if you're asking me,
he's such a great professional, isn't it? It's just
if we get an offer for Endo, if we get a reasonable offer, we'll probably move on from Endo, but. Because we've gotten offers before, and they just weren't at the evaluation that we had to move him. But I don't see there any. I don't have a problem keeping Endo for another year. I think Endo has provided some admirable service for us, to be honest with you. And don't worry, Brian. The streets the streets already told me he's got the number 20 bubbling in his blood right now, so that's why he's maybe a little bit harsh. The streets are a little bit more rougher than normal. But yeah, Nunez is not trash. He's not trash. I mean, like, yeah, I don't think Nunez is trash. I think Nunez serves a point and creates something for our team that is unique, and that is he provides us energy, spark, and he also can provide us goals, very important goals. And he's got some very memorable winners, much so against this team that we're about to face tomorrow. Actually, he's got two memorable goals against this team, very memorable goals, I think. I don't do many watch-alongs, but that was one of the few watch-alongs I did. I did it actually on LRFC, and I remember doing that game, and I remember making that call, making a call that I could have looked stupid for making, but I did say that Darwin was going to score, and he proved me right. So I was cool about that. What's the great thing about live streaming or those kinds of things, you know? If you don't believe me, just go back and watch the show. You'll see what I said. Up 2-2. Is that are you talking about the Copa del Rey?
Yeah, Torres.
2-2. Okay.
Chumani brought it back to 2-2 about 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
And Torres or Chumani made it 2-1. Sorry, a few minutes ago, but Torres leveled it up there pretty short order.
I was
85 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's the 85 minutes, so it could be
85
could be extra
okay.
time, could be penalties.
Keep us up with the updates, definitely. I don't have that game on in the background, so keep us up with the updates. I was just going to ask real quick, what Spurs player worries you the most, if any, tomorrow? I know that this lineup isn't the lineup that a lot of people have us going up against. I'll bring it up again one more time. This is what SofaScore at least thinks they're going to play. It's a very, very strong lineup, to be honest with you, that they're predicting.
Madison's got a goal in him, and he can also create a goal with a path. He'd be one of the main players I'd look out for if they were to create anything themselves. Right, I think Madison would probably be involved, or Pedro Porro down the right. It's not a bad team if they've got that back if that's what they've got for the semi-final, and like they can play halfway. If they can play halfway decent, they've got a good chance of getting through to the final. Shane, is Son out for the season, is he, or something? Or is he just out for a couple of weeks, Son? Because he'd be a big miss for Europe, wouldn't he, for them?
It's a question. Let's see. Son is the only one, and he's injured. Roster Crab says that's true.
They could do with him.
No, trust me. I mean, for other reasons, I'm glad we're not going to see Son in this game. Not because I rate him highly. I like him as a player. but you know, he has a definite history against us. So
what's going on with Kulusevski? What's he been playing like lately? Is he fit?
he is fit. I believe so. Double check here.
Richarlison's fit. He likes playing against us, doesn't he, Richarlison?
Yeah.
Well,
Son is doubtful. Draguson is out. That's the only. They only have one player out, really.
well, I hope they have some back for Europe because I want them
They
to
have
win.
Richarlison in the sofa score. They have Richarlison starting. I think Richarlison starts this game. To be honest with you, I don't think Solanke would start. Richarlison loves trying to get a goal against us. I know Solanke would love to get a goal against us.
Yeah, well, Tom got one against us, didn't he? We went to their stadium.
Yeah.
I still like seeing him do okay, like for Spurs, as long as it's not against us, because he was our player. Like, I didn't want to see him score against us, but I like to see him score goals because he was our player. I don't know how their fans. I don't
not against us though. Not against us, Lee.
Either. They're very moany, their fan base, and they've got a right to be given this season. But if they win the Europa League, like that is it. It wouldn't paper over all the cracks, but it's a massive trophy for them to win.
Mm-hmm. Pop says he's not. No player really worries him on the Spurs. He says we play properly, we handle them as usual. Crab obviously said that his was Son, but he's not playing. Let's see. Yeah, Pigeon Boy is probably going to get the start. He probably will. He's got I don't know what it is about Richarlison, but it's like one of those things. Like, I'm sure he's probably a nice guy. You know, I mean, I know Ali likes him. Our son likes him, and he's got a good relationship with a lot of the other Brazilian players. But it just gets under your skin with that guy. It's just I don't know why, but let me double check here. It has on SofaScore they don't have him starting either. They have Johnson on the right. On SofaScore they have Odebart starting. Who do you think is going to start for this team?
That looks about right. With Son missing, that'll probably be their team. It's not a bad team when you look at it. When you look at the players, they're okay. You know what I mean? Bentancur was good before he got injured.
In midfield, mightn't he? Instead, it's
like that's their strongest team.
That's well. I don't know. Do you think Kulusevski is? I think better.
Oh yeah. Where's he, bro? He's missing. Yeah, I was thinking that.
In this one, they don't have him starting, which is interesting.
Probably Tal on the bench, and then he'll come in. Like
Kulusevski's
probably being their best player.
SofaScore one, Kulusevski starts, and they have him in the midfield, not as the right. They don't have him as a right winger. They have him as the right midfielder in the SofaScore. But let's see. They also it's a very different lineup. They have in the SofaScore, for instance, they have Tell, Richarlison, and Odebart rather than that front line. They have Sarr is the only one that's the same. They have Gray. They have Kulusevski in the midfield, and then the back line they have Udogie. They have Davies starting, and they have Davies starting. They have Donzo starting. And then they have Pedro Porto starting on the right. So
the goals they scored against us in London were terrible. They were floppy goals. We conceded in London against them. Remember the first one where McAllister got mugged for the ball, like just outside the box for the first one, and then Second one wasn't glorious either, was it? He scored 3, didn't he? Wasn't it 6-3 in that game?
Mhm.
3, yeah. Yeah, that was a shabby defensive performance, but it was a really good attacking display. Like, we were dominant in that game. It was just a shame we had to concede 3 sloppy goals. But yeah, I mean, they have shown they can score against
No,
us.
we dominated in that League Cup game you're talking about. We dominated in that game.
Yeah,
In the league, yeah.
Was that the league? Or I thought it was League Cup. Wasn't that League Cup?
Yeah, we lost 1-0 in the League Cup.
Yeah, we
1-0.
lost one leg of the League Cup, didn't we, against them? But then pulled it back at Anfield.
Yeah.
Only to lose at Wembley.
Yeah, what I was going to say is also they should be saving Kulusevski for Thursday. Yeah, a lot of these players on this strong lineup that I just showed you most likely should be, you would think, would be players that are going to be saved for Thursday. I know it's plenty of time. It'll be, plenty of time for them to be there and get it. But I mean, like when I'm saying saved, I think you'll see them play. I think you'll see Kulusevski play. I think you'll see possibly Solanke play. You might even see you'll see Madison play. In the SofaScore lineup, they don't have Madison play. They have like a lot of their big names sitting the bench, like obviously Romero, Madison.
They've already pulled Son out, so
yeah, and they definitely
he's having a rest.
They don't want a chance at that. Yeah,
he's
doubtful, but I mean, he's not out, but he's doubtful, and I doubt they would want to chance not having him be available for that Thursday matchup.
Refresh me memory. It was Spurs European final, semi-final against the Europa League semi. Who was Spurs won against?
Bodo
Glimt.
Bodo Glimt.
Is it Bodo Glimt? Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Europa League. No way.
Yep.
And United
they did a good one.
Bilbao, haven't they? United have Bilbao.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is a team that
everyone's just assuming they're going to be an all-English final. It's nonsense.
That's nonsense. No.
Final is in Bilbao.
Tough opponent.
The final is in Bilbao. They're hosting that final. They have all the motivation in the world to get there. So
it's only quite useful when I saw them. I'm sure you've seen them yourselves this season on the highlights. Bodo Glimt. They don't look like a pushover, mate. I saw.
Yeah, in their last game, they did pretty well. I've seen them got highlights of it and that. Who did they? Was it Lazio? They beat Lazio, I think.
They did,
on penalties. Yeah, they beat Lazio on penalties. I think Bodo Glimt.
Yeah, they're very good.
They beat Lazio in a two-leg game. They beat them, so you don't know what they're going to do. But for me, Bilbao is a good opponent for United to have. They've got the final there, Brian saying, so a bit of a motivation to do it. They've got us supporting them anyway. As long as one of them 3 teams beats United to that title, and same in the Champions League, whoever it is, PSG, Barca, or Inter. As long as the United and Arsenal don't win it, job done. You know what I mean?
I have a poll question for my mighty Reds out there. Just 4 choices. I know you might have a different choice in your mind, but who will be Liverpool's most important player tomorrow? If you had to pick between Ali, Trent, McAllister, or Salah, who do you think is going to play the biggest impact tomorrow out of those 4? Answer that in the chat if you can. Just give us your answer. Be interesting to see out of those 4 who you think is going to be the most important player tomorrow, most impactful player for us tomorrow. I know that I think that it's going to certainly be. I actually do think it's going to be the what do you call it, the unsung hero. It's going to be McAllister, I think, tomorrow. I think Maka is going to have one of those
to supply the
just like one of those great games where like it's a great game because Maka is because the midfield is the engine for a lot of the output, offensive output for any team. I think it's going to be McAllister's going to factor into something tomorrow. But some might say it could be Ali with great saves. Some could say it could be Trent with his brilliance, offensive creativity. Maybe you just think it's Salah with his his high power output. Who knows?
I think Salah, because if he wants to get 20 assists, he needs to put his foot down a little bit. So for me, I think it's going to be him. He'd be wanting goals and assists tomorrow, I believe. He's got funny feeding. Yeah. It's amazing how many people are watching that Real Madrid Barca game. Like United, Arsenal fans all do watch-alongs on that. I'm not even watching the game, bro. Like I don't know. I've never been interested with Barca and Real Madrid as a team. Like they don't interest me, if you know what I mean. But the way football, like this fans are football, it's like they support Barca or Real Madrid as their second team. It's like come on, bro. It's just you see it. It's like they probably even got a Real Madrid top in the background as well, or a Barca one. You know what I mean? It's like mad. You support Liverpool and that's it. You know what I mean? It's like how can you support Barca or Real Madrid? It's just madness.
I don't know. You'd have to ask some of our. You'd have to ask. I don't know. I'm about to say some names, but I'm not going to throw people under the bus. I'm not going to.
We'll be here till tomorrow. You know what I mean? There's so many of them.
I know. I wasn't going to throw their names under the bus. They're friends. So. Diaz, that's a good shout too. I didn't put Lucho in there, but Lucho does have a tendency to show up against Spurs. I will agree with that. He's a lot to handle on that left side. Ross, I think it's going to be Trent. I don't know why, but unfortunately, but I do. I kind of understand why. But he put Trent. I think he's going to be the answer to that question. It's going to either be Maka or possibly even Salah. That's what Philip thinks. Red Armchair Supporter says it's going to be Salah. Pop said, let it be Trent again. Okay. All right.
Don't let Grass the Crab hear you say that.
Yeah, right. No pen, yellow for diving. Okay. Oh, they must have had like a.
Yeah, the Rafinha, they told us it was very long VAR check. I'm not watching it. I just have it on the thing on the site in the text thing is coming up.
Okay.
But yeah, they checked it for a good 4 minutes. No pen.
Okay. Well, let me get into these next these segments real quick because we got still like about 30 minutes left. Some key stats and historic trends for tomorrow. Some key numbers for you to kind of like when you're out about, whether it's at the pub or maybe at your home, or maybe you're hosting the party at your house, or maybe you're at a friend's house, or wherever you are going to be watching the game. Hopefully you will be a part of the Reds roll call tomorrow, obviously. But some key numbers for you. Liverpool are unbeaten 15 home games versus the Spurs. We've won 11 games and drawn 4. Spurs have lost 18 games this season. Holy wow. I didn't know it was that bad. Spurs have lost 18 games this season. That's the second worst in their history. Wow. Another little stat that you could throw around, have people being like, oh, you're so smart. Mo Salah has scored 15 career goals against Spurs. That's the second most against any club against guess which team. He has 15 career goals against Spurs. It's the second most against any club for him. Can anyone guess the number one team? He scored, or the ones he scored the most goals in? No. Anyone on the panel? Red Armchair Supporter got it. Manchester United. Manchester United was the answer to that one. I was looking at that Opta score. Yeah, he definitely owns them.
Sorry, is that most goals scored against or team he's scored against most often? If you get what I mean, like scored in the most games against them or the most goals.
He has 15 career goals against Spurs.
No, I mean the United one. I mean, sorry, was the question like who the most goals or the most fixtures scored in? I missed it.
Oh no. Most the most goals. Who he's actually scored the most goals against.
Well, it's not very impressive, really. You're talking about the teams that are like 14th and 17th in the league, so it's not much to celebrate, really, is it? It's not much to crow about.
Wow. I guess you say it that way. Yeah. Very true. That Opta, is showing you the Opta computer analysis stuff. Well, they say we have a 71.8% chance of winning this game, and we have an 87.7% chance to seal the title tomorrow. So the form guide, the stats, the history, everything is in our favor tomorrow. But football, still have to go out there and get it done. So that's what we're going to do. It's something. It'll be a beautiful thing to see if we can. I'm not looking. I want to see Salah get that Henry record. I'd like to see a Red have that record rather than a Gooner having that record. But I will say this then. There were some quotes by the managers, and this was very interesting. Arne Slot remains. This is the quotes. Arne Slot remains laser focused. This is what he had to say. He goes, normally we settle only for a win. A point isn't enough. That's exactly the attitude we want going into this match. So obviously we spoke on that earlier, how we're going to go into this game. Arne Slot's got it. Hey, it's not about getting a point. It's about getting the win. Meanwhile, for Ange, who's trying to downplay his boyhood, which is something that JK was mentioning. He's trying to downplay his boyhood Liverpool fandom. But his Spurs body language, I guess, could say it all. Let's be honest, they're pretty exhausted. They're distracted. And frankly, they're lucky to not be in a relegation fight. Let's be honest with you. If it wasn't for some of the teams at the bottom of the table being just so very bad, we would probably be looking at Manchester United, a Tottenham Hotspur team in the relegation zone. If it wasn't for the fact that the teams that are there are just so bad. There is a question of how Slot could be the first Dutch manager. I didn't know this too, by the way. Slot could become the first Dutch manager to win the Premier League. There's never been a Dutch manager to win the Premier League.
Didn't Gus Hiddink win it now with Chelsea?
Did who? Say again?
Didn't Goose Hiddink win it with Chelsea now?
That was something in one of the articles I read. That was the
I think he might be the first one,
I'm not certain. Yeah. Pop says, if we are honest, by the way, Pop is saying Gus won the cups, he thinks, not the actual Premier League. And then he also had to say, if we are honest, the three teams going down in relegation aren't Premier League team level. I guess or what I understand him to be saying. So arguably Spurs United sit in the relegation zone. I would say that they are relegation level teams at the moment. I would certainly say that. If it wasn't for the fact that, the teams, those newly appointed teams are going pretty much back down to the championship, it would most certainly be a United and a Spurs looking at the case. But yeah, I don't think he did. Pops is saying he won the cup.
No, he was only ever interim manager.
And he was only
he was only ever the interim manager. He came in the January, February to replace Scalari, who got sacked.
Hmm.
And he was still, so he was only ever like an interim at Chelsea. But no, he didn't win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wild.
He won the FA Cup. He won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
But he was only there for like a few months until the end of the season because he was still Russia. He was still a Russia manager at the same time. But yeah, they sacked Big Phil, brought him in. He won the FA Cup, but didn't win the league.
If Slot is to win this Premier League tomorrow, he will become only the 5th manager to do so in their debut season. Pretty impressive company to keep.
Yeah, Hull never won the league. I think Eric Ten Hag won it in spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he won it like in his heart. In his heart,
in his heart and mind.
In his heart, he won it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that comment earlier that I said about normally we settle only, just the quote, normally we settle only for a win. A point isn't enough. That's exactly the attitude we want going into this match, quote unquote. Do you think, do you like that Arnie Slot mentality of a point isn't enough? Do you think it's risky or is it smart? How do you feel about that comment?
You play for a point, you're going to get bet, man.
Yeah, you play
you
for
will.
a point.
You play for a point, you'll lose.
You'll lose. You end up.
Get back to normal vibe about it, like, and recapture the form of earlier in the season, before the new year, even, like, you know what I mean, late in November and early in December, we were in really good form, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
That's the best we looked all season, I think, around that time. So we could get anywhere near that again, so we don't look weak at the back, have a nice confident performance, score a few goals. It would be nice to put a display on, because we haven't played that well, have we, for a couple of months now. It's been, but I'd like to see us do that anyway.
Do you think that because Andrew's attitude has definitely changed in his approach with his interviews and the likes, and when speaking on, his future, the Spurs situation, and everything going on with the club? Do you think he's already kind of conceding this game in his mind? He's kind of like, it's
a free hit, man. It's a free hit. It's what they call a free hit.
I believe he can get
doesn't really
something
matter
out
what
of it. He's quite positive, Ange, isn't he? Like, a lot of their fan base don't like him, though. Like, I just think he's fucking crap. But he is a positive manager, like,
Well, all right. Time to put it on the record here.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian, you want to say something?
No, sorry, I was just saying, like, it's a free hit for them. For, like, you're not going up, you're not going down. He's a little bit damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You've got you bring in someone to get injured, that's going to be all on your head then, right? But you've got maybe you're a manager. Like, these guys know exactly what's going on with these players. Maybe you're looking at a guy and go, do you know what? A good game against Liverpool and he'll be flying now for the week. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's someone like he's Son. No, I want to leave him at home. But someone who's a little bit patchy, in and out.
No. No.
Get him
Yeah.
on the pitch. If he scores twice
Give him that
against
spark.
Liverpool at Anfield, he'll be in big form now for Bodo Glimt. He'll be flying, be walking on air.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you got to play those little bits and pieces that we as fans don't know about. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but like if he plays someone, and he already has very little credit in the bank now with the Spurs fans, not all of them, most of them, but with like players getting injured and stuff and playing players when they didn't need to play them. But you know, he's probably going to be very cautious of that. But if he's got someone like Brennan Johnson, maybe he thinks I'm going to start Brennan now. If he has a good game, if he has a bad game, if he has an okay, doesn't matter. Uh, I need to get him in good form or in good confidence. So yeah, I think he's just going to say two or three that he'd be kind of terrified of getting injured, but the rest just go out and go for it, have a go, try and get some goals, try and get in some good form. Because, like I said, they're not getting relegated. They can't do anything, you know, like finishing the champ. Like they're down and wherever. So it's a completely non-end of season game for them. That can be dangerous. That can be really fucking dangerous if you're not switched on. Which
Well,
is
it
what I've been
means a
saying. I don't
display,
like this.
don't
Sorry,
it,
I'll
from
just finish on.
Wait, I'm finished. I'm finished.
Yeah, I was
sorry.
just saying, like, this the one thing I don't like. I'll finish on this. I think, I think this 7 day shit is too long. This
Mm.
7 day gap is too long for a pro team. Boys, they like playing football for every
Yeah, they
4 days, five
Yeah.
days. You know, that's what they want to be doing in the rhythm, playing.
Mm-hmm.
7 days is a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's contributing to us being really slow out of the blocks and taking time to really get into a kind of rhythm. Because if you're playing 3 days ago, yeah, you might be tired, you know, in your whatever, but there's also you're fresh, you're in the rhythm. You just scored 2 goals, or you just had a good game. So if they're going gung ho and we're a bit slow out of the blocks, you know, we've got to be switched on tomorrow because some people you know, they like to spoil parties, and Ange's still got his professional reputation on the line. You know, a good game against Liverpool won't do him any harm.
Well, the biggest thing is the Bozo Glimt on the horizon, so we can reach a European final, because it's quite rare for them. Okay, they reached the Champions League final against us, but that was 2019. It's big for them to reach European final, so he's got to sort of get them into some sort of shape, hasn't he, in the coming... I don't know how many games he's got before he plays the first leg against Bodo, but he's got to get them into some sort of form with that in mind, and that would be massive, like, for him to win that. But as I said before, it wouldn't paper over the cracks. They'd still want him out, a lot of their fan base. Whether he gets sacked after winning a trophy, I don't know. But he gets quite prickly, doesn't he, with interviewers quite quickly, and sort of like just gets sort of like dug in a position, doesn't he? Like. Be a weird one though if he won that. Better than Man United. I wouldn't mind if Bilbao, obviously Bodo won it either.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, as I was saying earlier, let's put this on record. What is going to be your prediction for this game? I know I had maybe one. Oh, and I'm going to bring up that Red Armchair supporter question too in a second. Liverpool win 2-0 with Mo getting the first goal. That's what Philly Liverpool FC says. My prediction is going to be Liverpool 3. Fortunately, I don't see us getting a clean sheet. So Liverpool 3, Tottenham 1. Salah finally ends his mini drought and scores. I have a surprise name in here getting a goal. That would be Dominic Szoboszlai. And hopefully Mo can get an assist in there too. But what is your prediction? What are your predictions?
I'm going to go for a 3-1. A 3-1 victory.
Okay.
I'd say that McAllister will score a goal and Salah will score a goal. And the other one, I'm not so sure. Maybe a header from Virgil, right? But they play Bozo soon after. That's the next game after us, isn't it? The following Thursday, 1st of May. Big match for them, though.
No? Okay. 2-1, Bernie says as well. Big up, Bernie, by the way. 2-1, Hash is saying. Big up, Hash. It's been a little while since we've seen you, but hope that you're doing well. Let's see. Edwards has 2-0. Philip has 2-0. Okay. How about for you, JK? What's your score prediction?
I'm gonna just go with the 2-0. I think that's a good score to go with. It could be something crazy as well. And I remember at the start of the show, you asked that question about how should we handle the game tomorrow. For me, put your foot down and show some entertainment for the fans. Because like even Arnie knows now his job done, 95% done. So hopefully he changes his tactics tomorrow and says, you know what, put your foot down, lads. Let's win the title with some good football. So a 2-0, but I love a 4-5-0, something like crazy, you know.
Oh, I'd love a 5-0. Oh, I would love a high fives. 3-1, Lee Wiskin. We just unfortunately don't really do those kinds of scores that often. Clean sheet is what Pops is most concerned about. Ooh, Lee Wiskin saying he could see an edgy draw. Ooh, don't want to see that, but it would be kind of, what would I say? Well, it would be a little bittersweet, I guess, if we ended up winning the title on a draw. Oh, that's what Norm says. Norm sees it as a 3-3 draw.
3-1 sounds sensible.
I don't know if
3-1 for us sounds
I don't know
sensible.
if oh, sorry, go ahead. Finish your thing.
No, just that 3-1 sounds sensible for us, that we could get 3 goals. Maybe just concede the one. And have a half-decent performance, like where we look in control for most of the match. That'd be a nice way to finally clinch it, rather than sort of like limping home with a draw. But I don't think they've got it in them to beat us tomorrow. They could get a draw maybe at the very, very best if everything went well for them. If things went well for them, but no more than that. Can't see how they could win the game tomorrow. In the form they've been in this season, and in the form they've been in recently, still is crap, isn't it? So yeah, it'd be really hard for them to win the game, I think, wouldn't it? I'd be astonished if they did.
Oh, big up Mighty Mag. Big up Mighty Mag. Got our Newcastle friend in the house. Lee saying, don't want to draw, but Spurs are random as F. Yes, they are. Question. Would you give the squad players like Chiesa, Elliott, Endo, etc. the rest of the season after the title is won? I absolutely would give them more opportunities, for sure. I would, at least. I would.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would, wouldn't we?
Some players might be working towards personal achievements that they'd like to achieve in their lives too. So, I mean, you got to keep that in mind. So, I'm not trying to upset the cherry batch or whatever it's called, or upset the cherry cart. But I would definitely. We're giving chances away on my view. Defending the left side at the minute. If Kulusevski plays and in his own form, he can hurt us. That's what Norm is saying. I understand that as well. Let's see. JK, what was your score? What was your score again? I'll make sure I got it down. You said
I said 2-0, didn't I?
2-0. That's what I'll make sure. Yeah. Okay. So 2-0. You have 3-1, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your score, Brian? That you wanted to go with?
Yes, like like Lee is saying, they're such a random team, but they got this European game. So I just think they might. It would so really depend on us, like what I was saying earlier on about us starting slow. Because they'll probably come at it quick, but they'll have one eye on it. So the longer we stay in the game, I just really hard to pick it. Really hard to. I can just see him trying to come along and for 20 minutes try and put on a game or a show. Damn, man. 3-1. I go with 3-1.
3-1. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think if what Norm is saying happens, yes, if they come out strong with that lineup, it's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough fight, despite the fact that there's a lot there's going to be obviously some nerves getting across the line and everything else, and and we could possibly sometimes people play to the moment rather than play the actual game. They end up playing the moment, I should say. So
if we get an early goal, it's going to be party time. Game over.
Oh, really? I think I can see what you're saying. I think that that could be what it could be, similar settings to the game that we had. Who was it? Let me double check. It was 2 games ago. Then West Ham, where we got the early goal, right? And then we let them back into the game. Wasn't it West Ham that happened? Yeah. Lucho had the early goal in that game. And then we we controlled the game for the most part in that game as well. And then, but we just never got it. It seemed like, sometimes, like, I don't know if anyone's ever drove a manual or a stick shift, but sometimes
that's all they have over here.
That's all they have over there. Okay, all right.
We grow up on automatics. Yeah, automatics are for old ladies and people.
All right. Well, I know what you mean. I learned on a manual, but most times over here, most people don't even know what a manual is. Basically, they don't even know what a stick shift is. But
it's a separate driver's license over here. It's a separate driver's license for people that
really?
You can get one. Oh yeah, if you learn how to drive in an automatic car and you pass your car in automatic, you don't have a license to drive a manual. You only have a license to drive.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, we automatic. Well, now everything's like electric, and so everything's basically automatic anyway. But 90% of people over here will be able to drive. They'll have learned how to drive in a manual car.
Okay,
so, yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. If you get a license here, it's a license, whether you're getting a manual or automatic. It doesn't matter. But that's interesting. But yeah, I was just going to say, sometimes, when you're trying to, sometimes the gear shifts aren't exactly the cleanest of gear shifts. You just can't get into that higher gear. That's seemingly what we had, and I think that I don't want to see us get into a place where we get complacent. We get a goal, we think it's going to be easy settings. We kind of allow for ourselves to kind of have what happened against West Ham, which is allow for them to sneak back into this game, if not maybe push in front of us in this game, and that's something I don't want to see. So I'm only going to be calm and collected. And once we get a 2-0, maybe a 3-0 lead in this game, that's when I'll sit back and start enjoying them starting up the bus, basically. You're about to say something? No. Okay.
Oh, Lee, check it.
Yeah. No worries. But oh wow. All right. Well, we'll see who's going to be the hero of this game. You know, be honest.
The crowd.
What's that?
The crowd. Anfield. Just make it.
Definitely be a big part of it.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
Norm, we're looking at you, brother. Yes, I know Norm will be there for this game. This of all the games, this is one game I'm sure he won't be missing. So yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good if the crowd can make it really, really memorable. Like some of the best ones we've had. I tell you what was a great atmosphere. I mean, I wasn't there for it, but when we played Chelsea in the first Champions League semi-final, the ghost goal. But that was a dead good atmosphere that night.
Okay. We
can still whip up a further, like, but it's much rarer now, isn't it? Like at Anfield and at all grounds, it's quieter at all grounds than it used to be, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah. Nori got an assist today. Just saying. Okay. All right. We will be doing a roll call for tomorrow. Very important that you at least stop by, say hello. It's been a long year. A lot has happened this year for a lot of us. Some ups and certainly some downs. But what has definitely been consistent is the support that we've had for our club and for each other. And I hope that it continues tomorrow. It's going to be a very important game for all of us because we could be watching history in the making. We're going to be doing a Reds roll call, but I will be doing one from a little bit of a different style of roll call. We're going to have hopefully the guys being able to hold it down via the studio, but I also will be bringing the studio on remote in that I will be trying to do my best to bring you a little sight or a little vision of my supporter club tomorrow. So it'll be a cool situation. Hopefully I can get some interviews, maybe, or get some comments from some of the supporter club members from my chapter. And also we can get your insights tomorrow, get your updated insights as to what you think the score is going to be. With the obviously we'll get live team updates as to who's going to be starting, and we'll also be able to get a real idea of who we're going to be facing tomorrow. Because the one thing that I know is going to be consistent, and that's going to be there's going to be some very bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Reds ready for some action, ready for some Liverpool glory tomorrow. So
that'll be nice if you'd interview a few of your fellow American Liverpool fans, so we can hear how they're feeling like. We have
Scousers. We have Scousers at our club too. We have actual
who are working
Liverpoolians that have obviously migrated to America here. We have some Irish, couple people from Scotland. There's a lot of people from there's more people than you think that call America home now, that are obviously born and raised in Europe. So and they get the party started. They get the party started.
Half our country is over there.
Yeah, what did you say?
No, I mean, Ireland is the only country in Europe that has a smaller population now than it did in 1840. That's because of a certain little thing that happened, but we won't talk about that. But half of the people that were here went to fucking America, man. Half our country's in America.
Some
Oh
just
yeah.
came here.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Some
I got
didn't
it.
even go across to America. They just come here and stayed there. But a lot went on to America, didn't he, from here?
Hello?
From Liverpool.
Mhm.
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Um.
Hello.
Hi, I can hear you.
Yeah. He's just gone.
Up. 1 second.
Oh, God.
Sorry?
Okay.
Oops. I think that's a private conversation for Brian. Okay. All right. So with that, we're gonna end this episode. I hope everything is okay with everything that's going on with Brian at Brian's home. It won't be our final fan rally before kickoff, but it'll certainly be, I'm hoping, our final rally before we are elected as the champions of England. We'll get some updated predictions, lineups, and we'll hype up the game a little bit, of course, to make history together because it's important. Same place, same passion, same Reds. That's what it's all about, right? So until then, I'm going to say stay safe. Pace yourselves, my friends and family out there. Pace yourselves, and you'll never walk alone for sure. So up the Reds, and we will be back tomorrow for the Reds roll call. Please do join us then. And until then, again, up the Reds, and hope everyone stays definitely safe and ready for this.